Welcome back, everybody, to oh boy, a very interesting episode. This is going to be episode number 57 of the X's and the U. As you might know, I'm the ex-president of Sons of Ben, Matt Kandazik. I'm joined by ex-head capo, Adam Booth, and ex-player and forever legend, the one and only Mr. Sebastian Latou. This is X's and the U. And as we say, or have said in the past, we may be X's, but we will be bringing you expert coverage of your Philadelphia Union. And I think today's episode is going to be part of that because guess who's back? That's right. Ernst Tanner is back, and with him, probably some controversy within this group itself. So we're just going to get into it real quick. The second or third investigation of Ernst Tanner is complete, and they found nobody freaking knows. We got no idea, except he's got what I'm going to call a slap on the wrist and suspended without pay June 1st until June 1st. June 2nd, he'll be back with the team. Now, I don't understand. I guess he was getting paid this whole time during the investigation, so no time served, as most people would do. This is MLS being MLS. But June 2nd, Ernst is back, and I titled in our notes, "Let the winning begin and the whining begin." All right, everyone. What are our thoughts on Ernst being back? Who wants to take it first before we have our round robin of discussions? Adam, you're being tagged, buddy.
Look, we have to know what he said. That's at the core of all of this. We have to figure out what he said. We have to realize the magnitude of that, and we have to figure out, in terms of this organization, how they want to proceed forward with it, because it's disappointing to me on a couple of levels. One, it just feels like there's so much shrouded mystery around this that in either direction, it's hard to gauge how to feel about the subject. But if it is of negativity, if it's of if these substantiated claims are of something of true substance, then we really have to evaluate what's going on in the culture of the club, because it just feels like, were we able, if something happened and we thought we just got away with it as an organization, therefore, like the claims were not substantiated the first time and we got away with it, therefore we continued, but we knew something happened. If that's the case, I'm disappointed. That I'm disappointed, because there should be a zero tolerance. And this is the thing we have. This is the practice, what we preach. We have the, stand up to racism armbands, and we have all of these conversations about, we're not going to tolerate things that are discriminatory in our sport. But if we're honest, we have tolerated it a lot, and just minor suspensions is still a form of tolerance. It's not necessarily the condoning that you truly want to send as a message, or the condoning that you said you were going to. So I don't know. I have not enough information to know what he has said. I don't have enough information to know, in retrospect, what he has said in lieu of the punishment. It feels light for something that is now substantiated claims of either racism, sexism, or homophobia. Take your pick. So until we figure out what has truly been said, if it is ever released, it's going to be kind of difficult for me to see either side of the coin properly. I feel overzealous condemnation of a person for something that we don't know if he did or did not at this point is one thing. I mean, he did something enough to be suspended, that's for sure. But also, not taking this seriously is also a little troubling. So I vacillate on both sides of this particular coin. But overall, the whole thing stinks. The whole thing is just disgusting across the board. The fact that Ernst has put this organization in this position is disgusting, and he said as such in his quote apology or whatever that letter was. So, I mean, look, I have a lot of feelings about this. You know, my personal feelings on MLS and their attempts to be a league that speaks about these things and speaks about ideals and speaks about being on the right side of social issues, but then also has Chick-fil-A as sponsors. So it's one of these things where, you know, we have to figure out what is lip service and what is actuality here.
Seba, do you want to go? You want me to go and then
I
chime
mean,
in?
I can just go. I'm not gonna be like too. I'm gonna be brief on this. I feel like one only thing I know, it's I know Ernst since now a couple of years, and in any situation I've been here, on the field, off the field, I notice any language or attitude, like which was reported, but then again, it just you know is a power moment. So I don't know what the truth, like Adam saying, whatever we are letting go or not letting go, we just kind of we can talk about not just soccer, but everything happen right now in the real world. And if we go first with let's say the leader of this country, he says stuff that's okay, for people, which is not okay for others. So like it's kind of very weird where we are right now. But from my just own experience, I never heard anything with him when I'm like every day or notice an attitude or anything. So it's like Adam said, it's very hard to kind of tell, what is the punishment is because, and like, and even like what I will come back is like the timing on when this happened. It was right before the playoff, whoever like brings this up again. And it's like a story now, I guess a lot of them are like since maybe the first year when Ernst arrived in this league. So I just don't know, what to take from all of that. And, like it's gonna be hard like any other mystery we have, not just in soccer but other like rumor or stories about the same type of allegation about other people. So yeah, it's pretty much hard to tell, I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with both of you on the fact. And first, all three of us know Ernst. We're not best friends. We don't break bread with him or anything. But we've all, unlike most people in the union versus the fans, we've actually had interactions with Ernst, and I've never seen or heard him say anything along what was accused. I will say Ernst is not the most warm and fuzzy a person, and I do will say admit to everybody that the players don't really like him, and he doesn't have to be liked. He's the sporting director. He doesn't have to be well liked. He has to run this team. So I know people in the organization think he's prickly and everything, but you know what? I don't care. You do your job. You don't have to be the most popular person to be effective. And I do know that some of the people that came out with later accusations were people that were dismissed from the organization by Ernst. So is there an axe to grind? Could be. I just want people to, stop making absolutes because we don't know. And I'll say it right now as someone that was accused of saying something that I didn't say that was recorded. I understand. And Adam, you were there. What I said was not what people said, and that led to me leaving because I wasn't going to put up with that kind of crap anymore. So you keep accusing him of something that maybe he said, maybe he didn't, and you don't know. Well, then maybe he leaves, and maybe it's unfair. Maybe it is fair, but we don't know. So I just want everybody to show a little grace in this moment because we don't know what's happening. And if you want to be mad at anybody, be mad at MLS, for not having transparency. But we don't know what Art said. We really don't. And if he did say something way back when, he went through the programs that we're supposed to have to make people better. I don't know if you just fire people right away because you make a mistake. There's got to be some grace in the world. And I don't think we show enough grace in the world for that. And that's just something, especially on social media. Everybody's guilty before even being charged. So I think people need to take a step back, and Adam, I'll go back to scripture, man. Let's go back to what Jesus said, like, hey, those without sin can cast the first stone. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
And just to put my personal bow in it, look, he got suspended. So something happened, and to what degree that was, we do not know at this time. And I'm sure no more than 2 to 3 months from now, we'll probably all know, and then we'll all have our versions of judgment on that. For right now, I have to say, if you did something enough for MLS to say retroactively, we got to suspend you for about 2.5 months, I'm going to say it wasn't great. But I don't know. And that's really the core of it. I don't know. So I'm not going to be the person to say this is bad, but he definitely has done something that is as broken policy. So again, let's actually play the waiting game for once. Let's actually figure it out. Let's actually sit down and understand this, because especially in the modern climate that we're in, everyone is hyper sensitive. Everyone is hyper vigilant. Everyone is on another level, for better or for worse. And I just feel like in a world where we are all very on edge for a multitude of different reasons, having it seep into our soccer lives as much as like I don't want it to, I really hope this, like I hope it's nothing. That's my hope. Because my hope is in the universe we have less of all isms. I hope we are more nice to each other based off of, or if we're mean to each other, it's based off of actual character and not, philosophies on generalizations. So that's where I'm at with that. But again, we don't have our sporting director for 2.5 more months and he's not getting paid. And there's a reason for that. So we have to figure out why.
Yeah. And until we do, I think we've got to stop labeling people because we don't know. We're very guilty of not doing enough research and finding out and then just making statements. And two of the supporters groups already made statements, kind of nothing burgers, but, it is what it is. I, for one, as a fan of the Union, I'm looking forward to Ernst being back because we're going to get into this. This team is in trouble. But before we dive into the team, into, Atlanta, that debacle, into Club America, and then the upcoming Chicago Fire, I do have to say one thing very important, guys. R.I.P. Mr. Chuck Norris. We just got word that Chuck Norris passed on, so I want to give a shout out and R.I.P. because I think he was the only person that could defend Sebastian Latou back in the day. Is one Mr. Chuck Norris. So R.I.P. Chuck. All right, guys, let's get into it. Should we talk about Atlanta? The 3-1 whooping that we got.
Yeah.
The very bad Atlanta United team that looked like Atlanta United of 2014. It's just wasn't a good look for the Union. And Seba, you were down there. First question first. Was it grass or was it turf?
It was grass.
I'm glad I knew something. All right. Seba, you were down there. How did that look live? I mean, you don't have good sight lines in that building, do you? From the press box?
No, we do. We do have a great view. We are a bit high, but it's a very nice, much better than the DC United view I had a couple of weeks ago.
All right, we're not going to drug test you, so we don't care about how high you were. But how was the game?
No, the game was kind of. I think we had like some good 15 minutes. I think especially right away in the game, we got a early chance with Damiani from a cross of Vasile from the left side. I don't know if you remember, who passed like close to the post. So it could have been right away 1-0 for us. Then we got a second shot. I think with Iloski, who didn't went too far with his left foot. So I think the first 15 were pretty good. I think we were playing high, winning the ball, playing quick forward, with some movement. But then Atlanta, of course, came back a little bit, and in one or two chances, you saw kind of first Almiron. I think Almiron had a great game. He was kind of very hard to mark. In every time he touched the ball, something positive happened for them. He was always kind of facing, making run, behind Westfield, using the left side, and it's him who gives the first assist to. He gives us 3 assists, but the first one was a great assist. With the Union tried to press a little bit, but a nice pass to eliminate the defense, and he's facing with his talent, he find a great pass to Latela with full speed, and he's fast, so didn't do the mistake and score. So from that you're okay, it's kind of Union I think were better, but I think the second 15 minutes of the game Atlanta was better, and then we got the PK and we are could we come back at 1-1 halftime, be perfect for us to kind of get back the momentum. And unfortunately Iloski missed off the post. And it's kind of where we are right now. It's anything is going our way, even if we try. It's kind of okay, how are we going to be keeping to be relentless and still working together, not being in doubt when stuff like that happen. But you saw like after the PK, like a little bit of the momentum change in the team in the mind. Then halftime, and right away, like I was hoping for the Union to do the start of Atlanta, but it's Atlanta, right away score a goal after 2 minutes, in the second half, and the 2-0 kind of like really. Breaks the leg of the guys even know, and even mentally you can see like the energy went down. So we tried to get back. I think the second half before the third goal was okay. We tried to let's say attack more with the flank. You saw Ariel going up. Then when the Bedoya came on as well, we have like more opportunity coming combination, especially on the right side, and cannot put the ball in the back of the net. We were kind of unfortunate on this, and so 3-0, but then you're like, oh, all right, everything is going the way of Atlanta. They just have counter attack, and Almiron again, great assist, back post, and a goal. So it's it was tough, mentally even to try to keep positive with the guys. The only thing, and we talk about with Devlin, was like, okay, we need to score a goal. Even if it's 3-0, you need to like get the goal on a run of play to get it out of the way. So now it's done, and Anino scored for 3-1. So I would say we finished on a positive note. The guy didn't give up. They keep attacking, even if it's so hard, mentally. And I've been there in some games where nothing go your way, and the past now a couple of weeks is the same way. But they keep playing, they keep attacking, and they score. So glad we get the goal out of the way. But yeah, it was a tough loss again against Atlanta. We didn't win a game. Now we are the only team, without a win in the league. So it's it's not a good moment, but you need to keep going. It's pretty much like, okay, when are we going to be able to flip the script and get now positive? And when you're on a roll, you never know what can happen. So hopefully they switch quick, and against Chicago we will see something. So like again, I watch the game. I would go back quick about the Club America. Like we got out, but I don't think we were bad. I think we were okay, especially second half again, like much better. We could have won the game, and pass and go to the next round. But we didn't. We are just missing, like this little, spark, the little, goal that somebody will put, and you don't know who is going to be that person right now. But we need one of them to kind of lift up all this team and try to go on the positive ride.
Adam, you want to take it from here?
Start with the dirty, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, Magic City, and all. Let me tell you something. I always say when you have two teams that are desperate, the home desperate team tends to have a little bit of an advantage, and mainly because they have their crowd behind them. They have the advantage of being home. They have the feeling of this is something that they definitely need to execute in this moment. And Atlanta's back was against the wall. They're definitely a team that had higher expectations from this. Miguel Almiron coming back was supposed to be something that sparked them to be better. And they, like the Union, started off extremely poorly this season. And they played like a team that was desperate to get on the sheet and get their season started. I don't think the Union played bad. I think it's one of these situations where the game of soccer is just built in a way where you can be the better team and you can lose 3-0. It happens. Not often, but it can do that. And I feel it's one of these situations where all credit to Atlanta, because their number 10 was a number 10, truly. The distribution was fantastic. But you had your moments, you had your sparks, and to get a goal in play was super important. And I do believe it'll help spark this team moving forward. Because at anything, you have to turn the page, and you almost have to look at these things like half to half now. It's not even the full game. You just have to say, are we getting better each half? And I think you did get better on a half to half basis, but it's not equal 3 points yet. This weekend coming up against Chicago is absolutely immense, because if you don't get any points out of this situation, you're really going to see someone hit the alarms. And to bleed that conversation into the Club America conversation, that was a good game by the Union, I thought. I felt at the first half they were sleepwalking a little bit, and that's why they got down 1-0. But the last, I would say the middle 40 to 45 to 60 minutes was Union Soccer playing well, and they just could not find that last minute touch. And then by the end, I think they were gassed. But it was one of these situations where that wasn't the Club America team that we played a couple of years ago. That was a juggernaut. That was a winnable game. That was a beatable Club America. I'm not going to have another conversation about the roster. You know, if you want to play that, and if you want to have a rotated roster for the champions, the second leg of the match, fine, whatever. I felt like if we had Bruno maybe in for more minutes, that might have made a difference. I don't know. That was just my philosophy on that. But ultimately, you know, the Club America situation is, I think you could have won. I was on the edge of my seat because I thought there was a good chance that they could have smashed and grabbed that at the end. They didn't. I wouldn't necessarily hold my head low after that kind of a competition, but in lieu of your MLS play, I can see how that's kind of frustrating to the audience as a whole. And look, something's got to give. You got to figure out all that money you spent on attack, you know, where's the attack? You got to figure out how to get this ball in the back of the net and not via the penalty spot, and has to continue on more of a consistent basis. Otherwise, you know, we're looking from shield to spoon, and it's crazy. You know, it's way too early to have any of these conversations, but we've never seen the Union like this. This is a unique situation that we've been presented. And look, we have an opportunity to get on stride in 24 hours, but let's see, because this is, as a fan, this has been a weird moment.
It has been weird for sure. And to touch on what you said, I mean, I think if Ilowski scores that penalty kick, it's a whole different game. It's a whole different game. I don't think it's 3-1. I think it's, 1-1, and then it's a whole different second half, So that's the Union. We need to execute on that. You got to make that penalty kick. I will say I am so missing Brad Guzan in the worst way. I just wish he was back and not Miggy, and I think that would have been a different game. I'll say that. And I'm going to say this poor result might just be Adam's fault. Do you know that, Adam? Do you want to know why, Adam? Because on this pod, you lamented that you really missed the U.S. Open Cup. And right now, it looks like we will be participating in the U.S. Open Cup next year. So I think you brought that out on the universe, my guy. I was just saying, like, that could be it.
Silver linings playbook is what you're telling me here, man. I get my U.S. Open Cup back? All right, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Now, the biggest quote I got from Bradley Carnell, and just let this sink in. We've said we're waiting for a lot of leadership on and off the field. So the coach is admitting that there are just no leaders on and off the field. With the roster change, you see that, but you're missing Kai and Jacob, which again, I didn't think Jacob was going to be that much of a miss with what we brought in. I knew Kai was, but that also kind of hit the team. Nobody was expecting that, not even, the ownership, because nobody thought he was going to get a deal like that, and they let him go. But then where's the other leadership? Where's Ali Bedoya? They brought him back one more year. Where's the leadership from the coaching staff? I think that's kind of the glaring hole in this. I know there's a change in the lineup and everything, and maybe Seba, you can tell us, where do you think the leadership's going to come from, or who could fill that role? Like, what do you see on and off the field during practices?
I mean, it's still, like I would say, we have a young team, with Kai and Glesnes leaving, and Baribo as well. But usually, you have I would say somebody in each line, who is able to kind of talk to everybody and put everybody on the same page. But yeah, we talked about it last week. It's something we talk about, the lack of leadership, and somebody who, I would say, with more a starter right now for the team, who can be able to lead by example, and at the same time able to talk, to the entire group, to have everybody play the same way. Of course, there's a coaching staff as well in their way, but we talk about Ali, coming back, but Ali is more let's say, on the bench coming in, he try, his best as well. But he has to be and the way I think this team has been so successful last year is everybody in the same page. And I feel right now maybe with some of the new guys coming in, they don't really understand everything. Nobody does the same type of work. Let's say first defensively than maybe it was last year, and then as soon as maybe there's a bad pass or something, you can see some reaction. We are not typical of what we saw last year. So he has first to come from all of them, a leadership on themselves, about like, okay, doing for the team and try to apply whatever Bradley Carney is asking them to do for each game. And then as the game goes, I think the player for me in a team as of now, I will think like maybe, even if maybe it's not his character, but, Jean-Jacques Danley, maybe with his English is not as good to lead, but he's somebody who is going to play the World Cup, this season. So he's at the age now, like I think he's 26 now, to be becoming more a leader for this team, especially at the midfield. You can get, even if he is young, but Mike Kanye as a center back, or Ariol, but the same. You can see Ariol is not that type of person who is going to maybe talk or get a lead with his voice. He's more leading by example. And then on top, it's difficult, because you have Ilowski, who could be, but the same, like he took a leader more position, I would say, switching his number from 32 to now 10. And when we take a 10, there's a responsibility as well. So he has to show by leading example, but you have to show it on the field. And I feel like for a lot of them, they don't take that position as a leader because they know that you have to show it on the field. And right now, all of the performance, especially the forward, but the defense is not as good. So they're like, I cannot talk now because I'm not as good as I should be. So then it's difficult, to say to somebody, hey, come on, let's pick it up, when maybe you are not doing it as a good job. It's like a mental thing. So it's hard to kind of like find who could be that guy right now. But we need one. We need one. Maybe we need two. We need like a little group to get together and get everybody on the same page. It's difficult, and especially like right now, I've been in like losing team, especially with the Union the first year. But we still have a good group. We knew that, okay, we need some work. It's the beginning, but like right now, like losing 4, like I know in 2012 I got traded, but it was kind of like the same type of feeling. They were not able to win games. So yeah, it's you just have to see more leadership as a team, and when you see them playing together, like we saw last year, I feel the fan will feel it, and you feel it just watching it again, and then you want to be behind them even more. So hopefully we can see that against Chicago, and not just individual, but like a full team performance.
And just to say, we're going to get into Chicago, but let's realize how important the Chicago game is, because right after this, we have a 2-week international break. I mean, we go in and we beat Chicago. There's momentum going in, and we all feel good. Fans, team, players get some confidence. They don't win Chicago, it's going to be a long 2 weeks, Adam. It's going to be a long-ass 2 weeks. So for everyone, including Bradley, and then you're going to start hearing the whispers of second-year Carnell, that kind of stuff. So the Chicago game has got some weight to it. So let's get into it. Now, do we have Jack Elliott? Do we not have Jack Elliott? I think he has an illness and he won't be playing. But, let's get into the pregame of what we're going to face with the Chicago Fire in Subaru Park. Adam, what are you thinking about this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is something that is going to be a turning point in the season, I would like to hope. I just did the research, and Jack Elliott is not supposed to be in the lineup for the match. So for better or for worse, you have that with you. But look, you need to be able to execute here. There's a lot of talent on this roster right now. The gelling process has come and needs to have gone, and it's time to execute at this point. And when we talk about leadership, this is when the leaders emerge. This is when the people who find themselves invested not only in themselves but this club emerge. I think when you lose guys like Ude and Glesnes and Wagner and guys who have been here to understand what it is meant to be sustainably good in Philadelphia after the struggles, there's just a lot of newcomers here, and you got to figure out who's the leader. And even when I was watching the Club America game, when it's a rotated roster and your captain is Nathan Harriel. And I was just thinking to myself, well, I guess he has to be. He's the most seniored, invested player in the 11 right now is Nathan Harriel. And for better, again, I say that phrase a lot, but for better or for worse, was the situation you have. So I feel like, yeah, we do need to identify that. And I think we can hopefully identify the leaders of this team, starting with the Chicago match. You got to get 3 points here. It goes without saying. I'm not going to have to sound desperate. You are desperate. You need to see the ball go into the net. Your fans need to see it. And preferably, you need to drum it. You need to be able to put these guys away and put these guys away early, hopefully. There's no confidence you have right now to say that you can do this, and understandably so. But I think with the amount of talent you have and with their capabilities, if you can start stringing something together, this could be the beginning of it. This is going to be, you would not, or let me phrase this. You don't want it to be one of the biggest games of the season because you want this to be a turning point and therefore bigger games come down the road. But as of now, for sure, it is one of the biggest games of the season, certainly because you need to win this game at home. You absolutely need to win this game.
Definitely. And let's look at the standings. Chicago is in 7th place right now. 1 win, 2 losses, 1 tie. So there's not a huge difference between these two teams. Even though we are at the bottom, they only have 1 win and they have 1 tie, where we could have and should have been in at least that boat. So this is a game. So Seba, I know you probably mashed this up with. I'm not sure if you did the TV show yesterday or not, but oh no, you haven't. That's right. You were away. So what are your thoughts on this upcoming squad? This Chicago Fire squad?
I mean, it's kind of a bit weird as well. It's like second year, for Berharter, as a coach as well for this team, I think. So for me, when I look at Chicago, I'm like good offense, but still not as good of a defense. So they have like lots of weapon as well, but I feel it's kind of like the Union. Do they are going to play together? Are they not? Are they going to, who is going to win the midfield battle? But we are, let's say, we're back against the wall right now. So there's nothing, let's say, worse could happen. So let's just, play, go out there, play with energy. It's 4:30 kickoff. It's kids' day. Let's do it for the kids. Let's go. Let's get motivated. Let's show the kids what it's all about, to get relentless and, play hard for each other. And hopefully we can get a result. I think it'd be a nice day to play soccer. So, yeah, it's. I feel like it's pretty much all right. Whoever is going to call up, and I think Braga is going to do is like whoever he feels the most ready and the most ready to kind of fight for this team in this right now circumstances that we don't have any win. It's going to play. So no idea right now who will be the starting 11, but whoever is on the field, just go out and play hard, and I think good thing will happen for you. It's just what I'm thinking right now. But Chicago is a good team, but let's go out there, let's not just get starting to find excuses and get frustrated with the referee, make a back call or anything, Let's just keep playing, play hard, play quick, put some, pressure like we have been doing all last year. I think it's something was missing sometimes, from the team. We are a bit too respectful to wait for the other team, but let's go at them and see, how good stuff can happen for us.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the weather.com on my phone. 62 degrees, sunny. I mean, this is going to be a great spring day for some soccer. So I hope the fans, the Sons of Ben, the Dupin delinquents, those other guys that haven't shown up for a while, I hope everybody's there. Adam, this is the kind of day you could take your shirt off and cheer, So let's see if that happens. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Adam. It's time. You're muted, buddy. Just like your shirt's on.
You can't call me out. They have to earn it. The Union only the stripping of me only happens if they earn it. That's not. I don't do this on command, my boy.
Well, the boys might need it. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, and then after this game, which we're hoping for the big win, we got the 2-week break, and then maybe all we're looking forward to is Leagues Cup. So we're going to see, because Leagues Cup's coming up in August, and that's the one title that we can get after for sure. But I'd like to see a reversal of fortunes for the Union against Chicago. Guys, do we have anything else that you want to talk about, plug, bring up, hopes, wishes, and dreams?
Forza Italia in their playoff against Northern Ireland.
I know, and I'm rooting for Northern Ireland for heritage, and then Poland is playing on the 26th, so we're rooting for them too. Seba, who are you rooting for the World Cup qualifiers? Who are you trying to get in there for the last minute?
I mean, I have a lot of Irish friends, so I would say Ireland. Need to do something. I think it's against Bosnia. I think they are playing. So let's see. I'll probably be watching with one of my friends. But in other note too, during the little break, there's the GA Cup as well happening for the Union Academy. So if you want to watch some game, I think you may be able to get some stream, and the Dallas Cup for the U18. So Academy is busy with some tournament during the little week off of the Union.
I will be at Donna's Bar on Wednesday the 26th supporting Poland and eating some pierogi. Feel free to join us. Look it up. Adam, some of the best pierogi in the city, my guy. You're more than welcome to come.
Can't imagine.
All right, everybody. This was episode number 57 on the X's and the U. It was an interesting one. I want to thank you guys both for joining in, and I'm taking off from LA. I'll see y'all soon.